Flashback 8 years ago, Chris Larsen shares his views on XRP Part 1, an asset without counterparty. And it's good to reflect on some of this because you see how a lot of it is coming full circle right now. It's about 2 minutes, 20 seconds, but it's really good. I already reviewed this earlier, liked it. And there's some more parts to it, but we'll get into it. So here we go.
Should I address the XRP?
Yeah, I think it's fundamentally important to signify the differences between what you were talking about, intra and interbank, and what XRP represents, because that looks more like a consumer protocol.
Yeah, so XRP is the native currency of the protocol. It's a digital asset. What does that mean? It simply means it's a asset or a currency, you could say, without a counterparty. And again, the broader technology here allows that for the first time, this notion that you can have an asset that's digital, that unlike that balance at PayPal, doesn't have a counterparty, which we think is really interesting. Now, in our view of the world, though, we don't think, that thing just kind of comes with the territory, right? If you have these protocols of value exchange that can determine whether or not value has been sent or not sent, or exists or doesn't exist, it's sort of trivial to include a asset into the protocol when you start. And therefore, why is that important? Is that if the protocol is successful, that digital asset will almost definitionally be successful as well.
So are you saying that XRP is independent of all the other things that we can put inside the container? So we got a container. So XRP just happens to be the jump start. It looks like it has a capital base of 45,363,000 as of a couple of minutes ago, right? So obviously there's somebody moving XRP back and forth.
Yeah. So and it depends how you measure market caps, right? If you say it's kind of the entire amount out there times the price, like a stock would be, or is it the amount of float times the price? But almost irrelevant. But sure. Again, why does it exist? Why did we make it? We didn't make it as the starring role of what we're trying to do. The starring role is the protocol, which will allow anything of value and never has to use XRP. Really important point is somebody who's trying to move dollars to British pounds never has to go through XRP. It could simply be, I'm holding dollars. I brought on dollars through my US gateway or counterparty or bank, whatever is in.
All right, there's a little bit more to this. I want to share the next part, but I like some of the statements that he's made. Because, it was said a while ago, but you literally see what's happening and what's going to happen, especially, I guess, apparently, like even next month. So there's part 2 here, and it says, the only asset in the Ripple protocol, by definition, a unique instrument. All right, give me just a second.
Dollar. I'm moving it to a UK gateway or bank. And I use a market maker who's simply making markets between dollars and British pounds, never touches XRP. However, we think in many cases, XRP will help enable transactions. Now, how does it do that? It's simply because we believe that market makers, so in the Ripple protocol ecosystem, there are gateways, people that bring dollar, euro, yuan balances onto the protocol. That's how you get value into the protocol. And then there's market makers. They're the ones that exchange one thing of value for another thing of value. And what does the Ripple protocol do? It's just trying to pathfind the most efficient path of exchanging that one thing of value for another. But because XRP plays a very unique role in having no counterparty, that means it has one variable, price, which is entirely objective. Everybody can agree on what is the price at any millisecond. It's just traded in the market. But it doesn't have a counterparty variable, which is endlessly subjective and is basically credit risk. No one can ever agree on credit risk, right, as a variable. So because of that, it is a useful instrument and a unique instrument. It's the only asset in the Ripple protocol by definition, right? So there's two types of things in the Ripple protocol or the Ripple ledger. One is this unique digital asset, the native currency XRP. And then there's everything else of value, which again is a liability to a counterparty. So as the only digital asset, it's really an efficient instrument to serve as sort of that common denominator between all things of value. So it'd be better in many cases, particularly for less liquid markets, for smaller currencies, from not sort of the world-leading counterparties. So again, you might make a direct market between B of A's dollars and Barclays British pounds, but kind of having, maybe the 12th largest remittance company in Mexico's peso balances, it would be very hard to get a market between that and the 8th largest remittance company in Kenya's shilling balances, right? That's an obscure market, very difficult to get enough liquidity.
All right. I'm not going to have us do the last couple. Well, you know what? Actually, I thought that was a lot longer than they were. It's not that much more. But
I'm moving it to...
Let me move this. Hold on a second. All right. So it states, Part 3, what determines the value of XRP? Strictly supply and demand. As more and more folks come onto the protocol, demand increases. Then the last statement, Ripple Labs is the company that first built the Ripple protocol. Of course, there's a full video, and then there's just this last part right here. I guess I will finish this up real quick because it's just not that much longer. I was thinking that this said 4:59 for some reason, but it's not that bad. So just take a moment to do that.
To get enough liquidity between those two instruments. How is that solved? Have the 12th largest remittance companies' peso balances be set against XRP through some market maker that focuses on Mexico, and then have some Kenyan-focused market maker that makes a market between that 8th largest Kenyan shilling balance and XRP. Now you've suddenly made the 12th largest peso balances one hop away from the 8th largest remittance companies' shilling balances.
Wow.
So, Chris, what determines the value of an XRP? Because right now it's trading just a little between 0.005, and it was at 1.6 cents. So, what's controlling the underlying value of the currency? Is it supply and demand, or?
It's strictly supply and demand, and that demand is just up entirely to market forces to determine what that is. And again, short term, like probably anything else, and particularly in something new like this, very unpredictable, certainly very volatile. And again, this is why we think that most people will not want to think about XRP as the thing that they are going to be buying things in, right? We think most people are going to be using dollar, euro, yen, airline miles, whatever. And in our system, they don't have to think about XRP. We think market makers will think about XRP, and so markets could be driven by them. It can be driven by really any reason. I think long term, though, it is this notion that the primary use is to be something that enables market making, which is really helping to facilitate medium of exchange. And we think that's probably, like any currency or any thing of value, probably the most important kind of source of demand. And again, that's long term as more and more folks come on the protocol.
Yeah, long term as more and more folks come on the protocol, and look how many is basically doing that. Literally having, financial systems across the world and central banks and you name it. All right, the last part, which is about 35 seconds, and we'll kick things back into the comments.
Some of our team members in.
Here it is.
So as you mentioned, I'm the CEO of Ripple Labs. Ripple Labs is the company that first built the Ripple protocol, and there's about 50 of us, mostly based in San Francisco. We have some of our team members in New York and also Beijing as well. And what we're really trying to, I don't know if you want me to jump right into it, but
jump right into it. Maybe tell a little bit about your background, what you're trying to do. It'd be interesting to hear a little bit how you personally got into it.
All right, so that's it.